Hey, Washington State. I want to do a short video on Dave and what I found out about him, so I'm just going to get right to it. We've heard that Bill Gates funded Dave's campaign, his political campaigns in the past, which really isn't that alarming considering a lot of people didn't know that Bill Gates was tied with Epstein and the vaccine, the WEF, all of that stuff. We didn't really know that, so, it wasn't too alarming to me until I started digging into him a little bit more, and then when you add everything up, then it's kind of a problem. I was scrolling one day, and I found this, and it says D, which it's supposed to be an R, so I don't understand that, but Dave is the co-chair of the Global Health Caucus. I was like, okay, well, what is that? So I went and looked it up at the whitehouse.gov site and looked into it, and it's basically the U.S., the procedures, protections for biological threats, outbreaks, any kind of, global pandemics, stuff like that. There's a lot to read in here. Feel free to go and check it out. But then I found this, and it's Betty McCollum, and they introduced legislation for Gavi Alliance. Now, it wasn't until last week or so that it really clicked with me that Betty McCollum and Dave was like, oh yeah, duh. So, they got this through the House. So I checked out what Gavi was, and this is where I was like, whoa, this is spooky. This is a company, their goal is to vaccinate worldwide. We're talking all scheduled vaccines, not just COVID, it's all vaccines. And of course, Dave was in office when COVID came out, so I'm not trying to pin that on him or anything. But their goal is to get all kids vaccinated throughout. And that really wasn't, terrible until you find out who they're affiliated with. And we're talking the WHO, World Bank, there's a bunch of different companies. Here, I'll show you this right here. Look at all these. You got the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, so that shows another pattern of him still working with Bill. And so this is like the global world order stuff that we are trying to fight right now. All of these members. So, to me, that is pretty concerning. After Congress, Dave went to go to work for the law firm. Here's some articles showing that he did, joining up with Gordon Thomas Honeywell. It looks like he did pretty good. He got VP for governmental affairs. Congrats, I guess. Well, if you go into Gordon Honeywell, it's pretty interesting. They have a wide base of clients that they work for. And, I'm not saying it's bad or anything. It's just kind of interesting who all they're tied in with. And, yes, obviously the LGBT. If you look at some of their categories here, they got the diversity team. You can go into these and you can check this out yourself. It's a very wide range of different companies that they lobby their attorneys for. They do DNA testing for immigrants who have come over the border and they want to tie it back to their parents back home, which I find fishy, very fishy. The whole DNA thing, I don't think we're being told the truth on that. Why have open borders just to reunite them? You know what I mean? So that, to me, that just seems silly. But you can come in and check this out. here's something else on them. Just their who they're lobbying. Wide range. We're talking in all the counties. They're pretty. I mean, power companies. They have a lot of reach. And I guess this place is well known, obviously, since they are affiliated with so many. Anyway, media consultants. So it's just kind of interesting. Here is what I find funny is they help out in all branches of our government. So they're working both sides. They know both sides, and they're trying to win for both sides, right? They're lobbying both sides. That sounds like a conflict of interest to me. You can't have it both ways, no matter how biased you think you are. And so I find that really curious. Once again, you can kind of take a look at who all they're working with. So I don't know. It's very interesting. They are global. They're not just here in Washington State. And then I found out that not only did Dave work for them, but they're also lobbying him. And Thermo Fisher Scientific is who else they're lobbying. And I came in and checked this out. And what is this? This is a PCR test makers. PCR test makers. So our COVID test makers are financing Dave. Do I need to say that again? Our PCR test makers are funding Dave. To me, that is terrifying. And when I heard about that, I was horrified. It really makes sense with Gavi, all of it. So when you hear a comment like this, and this is Dave, this was a quote from Dave, and I'll read it, it's a little blurry. It says, most important, we need a broad same-day testing, which will allow us to test persons with COVID-19 and place them in quarantine. The best thing we can do for our economy is maintain reasonable social distancing. Okay, and then he also said that he credited Inslee for his handling of the pandemic. Now, he has come out and said that because of the virus being so new and everything, that, Inslee didn't know, so he thought he did pretty good for not having all the information, and I disagree. He had so many ties with the vaccine companies. He had plenty of ways to find out different information on the vaccines, on the COVID, all of that. I mean, just his ties back to Congress alone, and even the lobbying company. Well, even Gavi, he had the connections to make the connections to see if it was a legit deal or if it was just our government trying to pull a fast one over on us. So that's what I have. These things just really concern me. I am scared to death that we are going to get another Inslee. And this right here says that we will if Dave gets elected. It's frightening. I don't think our state could take another round of lockdowns. I don't. And nor do I think the people would tolerate it. We'd flock out of this state so fast. So there's a lot of information that I didn't disclose about the Gordon Thomas Honeywell. I can't remember where I had the information, and so I didn't include it in the video, but it has to do with Mexico and out of the country. So go ahead and keep your eyes out on that. I do know that there's several rumors of them doing things that all align with the World Economic Forum. So please do dig. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys tonight.